Hello, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. This is vlog number 4 of 4 of my America series that has been going on throughout the year. Just for some context, if you haven't seen any of the other vlogs coming up to this one, back in May, June time I was sent over to the US on the most ridiculous sponsored promotional trip with the US government through the US Embassy in London, and they sent us to 4 different states. We went to Washington DC, which technically isn't a state but whatever, Indianapolis in Indiana, Albuquerque in New Mexico, and then we finished in Los Angeles, California. I had never been to LA before. I was so excited to go, so I'm just going to crack on with the video, but as this is the last one I will put some final thoughts about the trip as a whole in at the end. We're in LA. we arrived last night, so we've got our first meeting of this state. This is our last state, which I'm really sad about. I don't know why I'm pacing. But yeah, that's so. On our first morning in LA, we went to a couple of programs which were aimed at kids in LA, so getting them involved in sports and arts and community. I also got to take home this cute little robot. So a group of kids had designed this and then they made it, well, printed it on the 3D printer, and it's so cute and it just sits on my bookshelf with all my books. And I just thought that was a really nice little souvenir. I didn't really take souvenirs or buy souvenirs and bring them back, but I do have this and I think it's really sweet. Then later that day we had some free time to kind of do whatever we wanted, so our group split up a little bit. I really wanted to go to Santa Monica Pier because I just wanted to recreate the dance scene from the Kissing Booth film. We're in Santa Monica. I literally am like, it doesn't feel real. Like, we were just chatting on the bus and then I looked out the windows and there's still palm trees and stuff and I was like, oh my god, we're in LA! Like, I keep forgetting. We're gonna go to the pier now and reenact the scene from the Kissing Booth but then on the dance machines. What's happening here? Wheel now. We almost didn't come on because it's $10. That just seems a bit extortionate, but we figured, when are we ever going to be here again? Whoa, it's going fast! Fiona, how do you feel about the Ferris wheel?
I am buzzing. Buzzing like your cousin.
Buzzing like I'm in a bar short for 4 hours.
With a wee iced coffee.
With a wee iced coffee and a bar short.
This is meant to be cute B-roll for you.
Thank you.
You're not being cute.
Sorry, I'm not sweet. You're not being cute. We've been on this Ferris wheel for about half an hour. I don't understand, when does it end? So I ran down to Santa Monica Pier, ran straight into the arcade, and the dance machine was broken. Still a bit fresh to talk about, you know? I'll just have to go back. The next day was probably my favourite of the whole trip. We went on the Warner Brothers studio tour. So we're in like a little studio space looking at costumes specifically and I think maybe parts of sets as well. This is Aquaman, which I haven't seen, but Wonder Woman is through there and Harry Potter is upstairs and I'm so excited. I thought I was going to be quite calm and collected about this. I thought that I was going to be able to drive around on the little trolley thing and look at all the sights and go, ooh, that's nice, I recognise that. Unfortunately, I'm a big nerd and I absolutely lost my mind. This is so amazing. We weren't really supposed to film on the lot. I did manage to get a few little clips, but the thing that made me absolutely lose it to begin with was Alison De Laurentiis' house from Pretty Little Liars. I saw it and I got tears in my eyes and it was pathetic. Like, Pretty Little Liars is objectively a bad show, right? We got to see so much stuff. One of my personal highlights was, again, I don't know if I filmed it, the orphanage that was used in the original Annie film, which obviously didn't have like that signage on it anymore because that film is super old, but it's been used in like lots of other things. So, I don't know, it was really cool. I had such a good time. If you ever go to LA and you're interested in like film and TV and stuff, I would really recommend that you do the Warner Brothers studio tour. My mum also started FaceTiming me while we were on the set of Ellen, and so I answered the phone with the Ellen set behind me and I was like, Mum, and she was like, yeah, and I was like, I'm on the Ellen, and she was like, what? So I mean, not everybody was excited as I was, but I was very excited. Justin Bieber's been here so much.
I know.
This is so cool. I thought I would be able to hold it together a little bit more, but I'm just like fangirling left, right and centre. It's so embarrassing. Then we went to the Griffith Observatory, which is the like planetarium that you see in La La Land. And so I wanted to recreate one of the scenes from La La Land, but we got there and the observatory was essentially shut. It was just too misty, you couldn't see anything through any of the telescopes, so they weren't letting people in. Which was again devastating, but I'm just gonna have to go back. And then somehow it was our last day. It's our last morning in LA, I'm so sad, but I don't know if you can see that. No, there we go. We are at a place called Homegirl Cafe, which is run by Homeboy Industries, which rehabilitates ex-gang members, ex-gang women members, and gives them work in this cafe. So we're going to have some breakfast and learn a little bit more about their initiative. Everybody's doing well. I've got scrambled egg and avocado toast. It was a similar premise to a couple of the other things that we'd been to. And yeah, I'm sure that we have similar things here, but you just don't get the opportunity to see them. So it was really interesting to kind of see how that all works. Yeah. Erin was just looking for a hairband. What happened there? It manifested. Basically. Erin's suggesting that the universe handed her a hairband, when actually what happened was she found one on the floor. It wasn't there, but I got And then finally we went to Universal Studios. What? You excited? Yeah. I love a ride. We're at Universal Studios! We're at Universal Studios and I'm so excited. I love theme parks. Oh, am I zoomed in? I can't see the screen because it's too bright. I have no memory of filming anything at Universal Studios, so I don't know what's going to be in this vlog.
Air, raise your hand in the air.
Studio tour. You can't hear me because
I don't see any hands up. Right.
We went and did the actual lot tour, which they don't have at the Orlando one. Over there is where they filmed The Good Place. And to be honest, it felt quite showy.
Now the Bates Motel was used by Alfred Hitchcock. Oh. Sorry friends, this is a little weird.
Like, it was really good fun, but in comparison to the Warner Brothers one, which really felt like a working lot, the Universal Studios one was very sort of for show. Yeah, I don't know how else to put it. So it was interesting, but you know, if you're interested in like a real studio lot tour, do the Warner Brothers one, not the Universal one, I would say.
Everybody, I've shown you a bunch of stuff today on the tour that was fake, made out of foam, rubber, fiberglass, or plywood. Not this. On the left-hand side of the tram, that is a real Boeing 747 that was purchased and broken apart for the production.
Hello. We're on our way to Hogwarts. Oh my god. I'm gonna have some butterbeer. Should we get some butterbeer for the queue? Yes, that's a yes. Thanks everyone for your support. We're walking. Oh my god, the music! I can't believe it. There's snow on the roofs and it's glittery. It does feel a bit wrong to have snow on the roofs in about 30-degree heat, but it's alright. Butterbeer, that's my fave. There's been a casualty. Quickly! I need the napkin! Ah, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. We've got butterbeer. I've never had frozen butterbeer before. Okay, what we do? It's so good. You sure you don't want some? Yeah, I'm sure. So good. We had such a nice day just sort of running around and messing about with all of the new friends that I've made. I'm gonna get emotional. We just had our last debriefing. We're all, I'm very sad. Had a little bit of a cry. And now we're gonna go for our last night dinner. I can't believe it's... Oh! We go! No, it's still red, man. We just just went to like a fancy restaurant and cried. I just couldn't believe the trip was over, and I still can't. Like, okay, here are my final thoughts. I have been putting off posting this video for such a long time because I feel like when I post this video I have to admit the fact that it's finished, and that's so silly because I came back in June, but it was so cool and it was so surreal, and it just came out of nowhere. Like, I literally found out I was going about 2 weeks before I went, and then suddenly I was on a flight to Washington with a bunch of strangers, and we just got on so well, and I still speak to them, and it's 6 months down the line. I'm seeing a few of them this weekend actually, and I'm so excited about it. A lot of people have said to me since, but why did they send you? And that's why me? Great question, but why the trip? So the idea was that a representative from the embassy had gone around a load of sick forms and asked them what words sprung to mind when somebody mentioned America, and a lot of the things were sort of, you know, gun control, police brutality, all that kind of stuff that goes on there. And so basically it was the embassy who wanted to use people with an online following to go out there and learn about how these things work, so that when we talk about them, we can talk about them from a position of somebody who has experience with it. So I'm not deluded. I'm not saying that I know everything there is to know. I also know that obviously we were sent there by the embassy, so maybe there was a little bit of bias there. It did feel very genuine though, and we were really encouraged to ask questions and to have our own thoughts and feelings about it and discuss it with each other and online, and the kind of take of the whole trip was really refreshing because it really did encourage like independent thought. And you'll know, if you've seen my other vlogs, you'll know that there were things that made me go, like, I wasn't a huge fan of the Memorial Day service in Washington DC. The police officer in Albuquerque kind of shut down one of my questions when, I don't know, I didn't really believe what he said, and you know, they encouraged us to say all of that. So I guess what I'm saying is that I'm really appreciative to the embassy for giving me those opportunities, because when do you ever get the opportunity to sit opposite a New Mexico police officer and ask him about guns and his feelings on those, and corruption in the police force, and all of those sorts of questions that, yeah, like, when do you ever get the chance to do that? And I feel so lucky that we got to do that. And also, I just had a really good time. I got to visit 4 states that I'd never been to before ever. I'm hoping to go back to LA sort of early part of next year. I get really sad when I think about the trip too much actually, because I just honestly think I might never do anything that cool ever again. It was so surreal, and for that to have happened because of like Twitter basically is absolutely insane. So yeah, I just want to say a huge and genuine thank you to all of you for watching the vlogs, to the embassy for sending me, to Dan and Phoebe at Cultural Vistas for being brilliant tour guides, and also obviously to everybody who was on the trip, because it would not have been the same without the people. I don't even know how to end this. I will reflect on it a little bit more probably in my like end of year roundup, but this was my highlight of 2019, and it makes me sad that I can't relive it. But I have the vlogs, and you also have the vlogs. So if you haven't watched all of them, then do go and catch up. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments or suggestions for when I go back to LA. And yeah, don't have anything else to say. If you would like to see what myself and Cleona and Cass get up to this weekend, I am doing weekly vlogs for Vlogmas, so make sure to watch those to see some familiar faces from this video, and I'll see you soon.